Oh,
Now it says it.
it says we're live. We'll see. I'm going to go check because I know there's always this 30-second delay, although we actually usually start recording at this point. People that are on the page. Let's see. Oh my goodness, that was fast today. Very, very good. That was very fast. Okay, we are live from New York. I'm Ellie Walsh.
New York. And I'm Carol Mikowski. Hi.
Oh, right. Wait a minute. I thought I shut this down and I didn't. There's always this. Oh, do you have it on?
We're live. So we have a reverberation here. Stereo.
I have it. Do you have the page open somewhere? I must have it open somewhere else.
Oh my goodness, that was fast.
I do. There was like 4 people talking at the same time, all in our voices. We're live. I was like, oh my God, I'm having a coronary. Okay, we are live for true now.
Right.
And we're on tonight, Law of Success book. We're on what this book calls Lesson 12. Some of you, I think it might, I don't know if it's one more, might call it Lesson 13, Cooperation.
That's right.
The one we're on.
Right. Cooperation, and we have 3 more lessons to go, up to 15. So we're...
Okay. So most books say there's 16 lessons.
Yeah.
Your book called that too. So this one says 15 principles. Others call it 16. Some of them call the mastermind a lesson. And
he
then
calls it an introduction.
Other books don't, and it depends, you know.
Right.
I think that when he put it out again, he put it out differently, but it's all the same information. So we're all on the same page if you're in lesson of cooperation. And if you're not up to that, you know, here's the other thing. I know some people are jumping on, and they're like just starting this book. That's cool. Just stay with us, play with us, because I think it helps. Because as each chapter goes on, what I found, he brings each chapter in anyways, each principle in the chapter. So I don't think you can go wrong here watching ahead. Just stay with us, play with us. I will jump back and forth to that page. I put chat roll on our page this time, so we'll see if that works better. I know people had problems leaving comments. And Carol, you're going to open us up, tell us about where we are and what's cooperation and all that.
Yeah, we'll get started here a little bit. Again, I'm going to put forth what Napoleon says, since we're talking about his book. So he talks about cooperation as in terms of 2 aspects. One is cooperation between people, and in terms of that, he's talking about the mastermind group. And secondly, he talks about cooperation between conscious and unconscious in the mind. And he talks about, again, as Ellie just said, he circles back now and he's picking up some material that he's covered before. And in talking about the conscious and unconscious, you know, he's relating to the fact that auto-suggestion, where we put things, we take things in and hopefully we pick them and choose them carefully, what it is that we want to take into our mind, our intellect. And that's done on a conscious level, and then it becomes subconscious, and then that's what we act on later on. And I'm going to leave going further into that for Ellie a little bit later on in terms of tapping into infinite intelligence through that process, if you so desire, Ellie. Now, talking about cooperation between people, he talks about cooperation between people leads to organized effort, organized knowledge, which leads to power. And he's talked about this many, many times throughout the book, and I believe he started off in the introduction about this. He talks about professional associations as exemplifications of these cooperative efforts. And he mentions, for example, the medical profession has the American Medical Association, psychological profession has the American Psychological Association. The legal profession has their own legal association. I don't know the name of it. I don't know what that's called. And through that, he says, people gather the knowledge that comes together from the within the professions, and it sits in those associations. Also, he speaks about, and this I hadn't thought about before. For example, take a department store. Department store is broken up into different departments, and each one has its own specialty, and it's all under the umbrella of the department store. And going back to the professions again, within the professions, you have your areas of specialty. You have your orthopedist, you have your ear, nose, and throat person, et cetera, and they're all under the umbrella of the American Medical Association. Now, within these organizations is cooperation, hopefully, so that people gain support through the associations and also have some edification through them. He mentions it also in terms of politics. He talks about even the United States is, an umbrella, and each state is a separate entity unto itself that's under the umbrella of the United States.
He also says they don't always cooperate so good together.
Exactly. And he mentions how Woodrow Wilson tried to establish the League of Nations, and he did. He established it. It's in existence, but his vision for it never came into total fruition because of that lack of cooperation. Exactly. So, let's see. He also talks, well, do you want to pick it up a little bit, Ellie?
Well, I'm more into the cooperation that he talks about between, the unconscious and the subconscious. And I think this is huge, what he's talking about in here. And again, you can read books that are written today where people are talking about this. I like the way he puts it. I think it still amazes me that 86 years ago, people were talking about this. He really got this.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we go back through all the chapters, he really lays out that, you are your environment. He doesn't say it in those words, but if you're reading this and you're following along, he is. You're picking up stuff from other people, and this is wild because you can't really live something unconsciously. It's in your consciousness. But when it's a habit, you're not aware of it. So we call it unconscious, but if you're living it or you're reacting to it, it's actually conscious. So it's like it's a conscious unconscious. I just came up with that one, So, and it's what I call the mindset map. Okay, so you're going through life, and you're going through life on a habit more than you think you are, and they're really more based on other people's opinions and beliefs and expectations. It just is, And if people would just take the time and examine that in their own lives, I think you'd get a lot of ahas. And you're living. And now you're reading this stuff and you're saying, okay, I'm going to make some changes. I'm aware of this. I'm aware of some of this stuff I got going on. Like, I don't really believe it. Like, I have a belief that I don't believe. Like, I knew that. I went, holy crap. Where'd I get, I knew where I got the beliefs from. And they weren't bad, but it was like, that's not what I really believe. Why the hell am I living my life through those beliefs, right? So, you actually have to learn how to create that cooperation with what he calls autosuggestion. People today would call it affirmations. I would just call it deliberate creation. Abraham would call it deliberate creation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Deliberately setting out your purposes and then being aware, do you have because you don't have the cooperation right off the bat. You go, okay, now I'm going to think of this. Like, this stuff is all working out for me. This is my chief definite aim, okay, of I'm going to, be in this, whatever it is in your life. I'm going to have this kind of relationships, or I'm going to have this much money. I'm going to be in this career. And I set out this, what he calls a chief definite aim, and I would call a vision or an intention. And you go, okay, everything's working, and it's not yet cooperating. See, that's the point people have to realize, because you have a habit of living this other belief system. That cooperation just doesn't go poof, and you get up. Look, maybe some people it happened to, okay, but the majority of people, and I ain't one of them, all right? It just didn't. I'd love if that was the truth. You go to bed, you get up the next day, and I guess it's not the way for it to happen, because there's no damn journey in that. Okay, there really isn't. There's no journey in that, So every night you just go to bed and then poof, something else, and maybe in another lifetime that happens, but not as humans. I believe we came for the adventure of the journey, and some people are going, yeah, this is a little too much adventure. And there was a time in my life I would agree with that, but you have to nurture the cooperation. And I'm going to say, from what I've read here in this chapter, I mean, he does talk about it this way too. He just says it in different words than I do. And then he talks about it in that business sense and association sense. He's still talking about nurturing the cooperation. That's like huge. And you have to do that even for your own self, to realize that if you've been living one way and you're making these adjustments, you don't have instant cooperation. So you have to nurture it. So you have to bring an awareness level to it. So that was huge that I got from this.
He sort of along those same lines, I think it probably is. He was saying that one of the greatest attributes of a true leader is not only getting people to follow, but getting people to act on their own. And he puts a lot of emphasis on action in this chapter. And as a matter of fact, he approaches it from a lot of different angles. And one of the angles is, he was saying, he took a lot of different scenarios. He mentioned a huge factory with a couple of thousand people in it. He mentioned a small store in lower Manhattan. He mentioned, I'm trying to think what else, department store. And he was talking, I'm going to let you go further with this, Ellie, because you like this. He mentioned using music as a motivating factor to get people cooperating and into action. And you want to pick up on that, Ellie?
Well, I mean, he talks about laughing and music and singing and music, and I know for me that I don't know if I've ever done that on purpose. That's kind of who I am. I have a tendency. Well, no, that's not kind of who I am. Years ago, he talked about the gloom buster when he was talking. He called it a gloom buster. When
Right.
if he feels himself he's out of wits or whatever, he does his gloom buster. And I don't know, it was some recording he used to laugh to. But what he was saying was about laughing, And there was a time I was the gloom coordinator, maybe, or the gloom announcer. I talk like so many people talk today. Sorry, folks. People talk a lot of shit. You used to know me enough by now. That's what I'm going to say. They just spew out this crap of what's wrong, and and when I purposely, deliberately realized I need to make changes in my life and started to become aware of the habits of thought that I would call a mindset map, that he would call habits of thought, that were running in my head. And I didn't want to live like that, so I decided to make the changes. One of the things I realized was about laughter and lightening up and just laughing. And, I think you and I do that often.
Yeah.
Is laughing, and it's true. The more you can laugh, it just now he even goes into explaining, and today scientists know so much more 86 years later, okay, of how that takes your cells and all. You know, people would call it, I don't know what all those things are, endorphin or dopamine or glutamine or whatever they are, okay, but all the damn chemicals that stimulate,
yeah.
you know. So when somebody's in depression, you know, all those chemicals are down, you know, and who was it? Oh God, there was somebody who cured themselves by watching funny movies all the time.
Yeah. I always forget which was that Norman. Whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. I think it is a Norman, but
yeah.
You know, I mean, like it's so true too. When you can just make yourself laugh, and one of the greatest things is it's so true. If you're really pissed off, you know, start smiling. Because you can't be really pissed off and smile at the same time.
Right.
You think you can, and you start to, even if you try to be angry and you're smiling, go look in a mirror and you make it do it even more, right? You just freaking start laughing. And it just dissipates that stuff. And, you know, people are like, you know, oh, well, how is that tools for business? Oh, my God. It's tools for life, and part of your life is your business.
Yeah.
The majority of people.
He mentioned, in particular, Filene's department store. And he said,
I know. I was thinking, oh, God, I would have loved to work there.
Right? A half hour before they open their doors every business day, they would put on some music, and particularly the salespeople would be dancing up and down the aisles and carrying on and dancing around. And
they would bring in an orchestra, because go back to when they didn't have boom
right,
box.
there was no Muzak in those days or whatever. Right, so they would bring in an orchestra, exactly, play music, and the people would be dancing all around. And by the time the doors opened, number one, they were in a great mood, and number two, they were in a mode of action at that point. So they were doing a lot more than usual.
And he actually, you know, this man really very smart and did huge research. He had, I mean, amazing, right? But, you know, and he talks about, and we know that today, and we know even a little more, how because that brings all the cells of your body, and those chemicals start, you know, running, you know, because you're dancing and you're in this action mode, and now, and they saw this huge increase in production because of it.
Right. And he himself did a lot of research in that factory with the 3,000 people.
Right.
He introduced, I forgot, there were two different kinds of music he got in there, an orchestra and something else. I can't remember what the other source was. It's not important anyway. But he said production increased by 45%.
45%.
45% by doing. By
the people are happy.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, well, so what? You know, I don't have a department store and I don't have workers. Do it for yourself. Put the damn music on it. I do the happy dance often. You do too now, Carol.
Yes, you taught me, right?
And it don't matter where I am. I could be in the store in Walmart. Okay, I did the happy dance, and we just had this experience on Friday. We were actually in the store together in a Walmart. There ain't too much up here where I live. We live in the boonies, and they had this. Look, I ain't beating up on the new music today, okay? But this was like, I'm sorry, annoying music. It was annoying, and it was loud, and it wasn't like upbeat. And maybe, all right, I don't even. It's annoying to me, okay? Maybe it wasn't annoying to 20-year-olds, but let me tell you who's spending the money in that store. It ain't 20-year-olds. Maybe one or two. Okay.
There's hardly anybody under 30 maybe in the store.
The majority of the people that go shopping in a Walmart, because this Walmart is a food store and all that other stuff store, all right? So people that are in there food shopping, 20-year-olds buy food, but the majority of them are 30 plus, and you know, are buying towels and all this other stuff. This was it was annoying music, right? I said to you at one point, and I don't pay attention like that, and I was like, holy crap, this music is making me nuts. I just want to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I know we might even have stayed longer and spent more money, but we want to get out.
It's true. I thought somebody ought to grab a hold. You can never find the manager in the store. I was thinking somebody ought to grab a hold of this manager and say, what the hell are you doing? This is not conducive to people staying in your store, not your bigger money spenders in this store. If this was, I don't know, a store selling skateboards or all electronics, then I would say, well, you know, the majority of people in there might have been more to that type of music. But it was like, I can't believe that this manager is blowing it. And
so apparently Napoleon had music that was conducive to greater activity and cooperation amongst the people rather than putting people on edge.
Yeah, I was not being cooperative in that store because also I wanted to, because what they want me to be cooperative is to keep walking around the store and buying money. Isn't their goal, you know, I'm spending money. Isn't that their goal? And I was like, and again, this had to be really annoying because I don't usually get late, but I was like, this music sucks. I got to get out of here. We got to go. This is really annoying me. So, you know, that was a really good example. We didn't even realize that, so we were going through this again today. There's 2 points to bring out here before.
Oh, go ahead.
Because, I mean, I can't believe already we're at 21 minutes, but he talks about the word procrastination a lot. And action, okay?
Action.
And a lot of people that know me for a lot of years know I don't like either one of those words. I do and I don't. Because he's right, okay? If you have dreams and you set out a chief definite aim and then you just sit in the freaking rocking chair and rock and dream about the dreams, no, nothing's happening, okay? It ain't happening because you're not participating in your own success. You're not participating in your own life. People call that procrastination. Here's why I don't like the word. The word is used semantic-wise, okay, societally-wise, as almost like a slap across your face. Like there's something wrong with you, you shit procrastinator. All right? So that's why I don't like the word. Because it's not that there's something wrong with you, okay? You have a huge mindset map that is totally stopping you. Because if you have dreams and intentions, your next automatic response is to take action on it, but you have fears and you have disbelief. And so if you're not doing those actions that are going to take you to where you want to go, you need to step back. You need to go back through these other lessons of this book. You need to look into other person, whatever it is that works for you. Abraham, Wayne Dyer, Neil Donald Walsh, Marianne Williamson, I don't care who it is. Get in a group. Because you have a mindset map that is stopping you. Here's what it did for me. This is why Think and Grow Rich screwed. I couldn't do it years ago. Okay? I was not yet ready to accept success. That's the truth. Okay? And I didn't realize that I had a mindset map that was preventing me from going there. So I kept blaming me and beating me up. What the hell is wrong with me? How could I keep procrastinating? Which what it did was it made me be able to take action even less. You see, it kept me stuck even further. It built on and anchored that crappy mindset map in the first place. So I don't disagree that there's procrastination, but it's not like if you use it to beat you up, you are totally taking this and throwing it all away.
Or that you're lazy. The implication is that you're lazy.
That word lazy. I don't really believe, I don't believe that crap. I understand, and unfortunately that's still spewed out there. Somebody that's so-called lazy, they have no belief system that they can do things. They might have tried to do things, and people laughed at them, and it didn't happen for them, and now they have huge fear and a detour. Okay, a detour. So part of me says, get up your ass I do agree with it. Get up off your ass and start doing something, okay? Because at least it starts to get something going. Or go dance and go laugh first, and then go do something. But you need to be in personal development. As far as I'm concerned, you need to be around like-minded people. I don't know how you do this without having other people support you, and you support it. Because if you're around all those people that are just sitting around saying this won't work and that won't work, and again, I don't want to call them lazy or procrastinators, okay? They've been taught that also. But damn, that's why you keep having neighborhoods and groups of people that just live like that. Because you sit there and you stay there. You got to get the frig out of there. And thank God for the internet today, because you can actually hook up with people right on the internet. You don't got to even, go find them and say, well, I live in the boonies, I can't find them. Yeah, you can. Just start searching for them. You've got to be around other like-minded people that you mastermind with, that you cooperate with, and you will get your belief system. You'll be able to take that action. People will talk about action, and then you'll do something, and then people will say, that was great. Because that's the other thing I realized. People take action, and, nobody says, you did great, and they think, I didn't do great, I did shit. And then they go back down. They fall back down. So that's why it's not that I disagree 100% with this. It's used wrongly, okay? People use it to beat themselves up. That's why I don't like the word.
Well, he was talking also about, I think he mentioned there were 7 people that he went around in the park and interviewed, people that were just hanging out during a period of time when there was lots of work, and it was not depression time or whatever. And he was wondering, why are these people not working? What are they doing? Just hanging out, not doing anything. They were like, I guess, what we call today homeless people, whatever. And he went around and he talked to each one of them. Each one of them came up with the same answer that, oh, nobody gives me a chance. Life doesn't give me a chance. And then, he realized that, again, back to action. It's not a point of just laying back, waiting for somebody to hand you an opportunity. It's being able to recognize an opportunity and move with it, go with it, take advantage of it, if you will.
Or you see now, or I would say the action is realizing, oh my God, I do have this chief definite aim. I do have this dream. I do have this desire. And I don't really believe I can do it. So the action is I need to align myself with it, and I need to read more. I need to get on more things like this. I need to get with people. That's the action. That's the first action. Now, can you plow through it in just action? The answer is yes. Yes, for some people. Okay? It takes a hell of a lot longer just going through the motions and not lining up with it. This is what we know today, all right? Not 86 years ago now. We're in 2014. It takes a hell of a lot longer than just going through the motion and pushing yourself and forcing yourself. And it really depends on those belief systems you have. So for the majority of people, it doesn't work. But there, for some few people, and here's what happens. You go, oh, it's all the hard work and the pushing through that got them there. No. All the hard work, okay, all the pushing through, they finally aligned and believed they could do it. And that's what got them there. So if you're looking for a shortcut, it is aligning. The action is, oh my God, I have to continue to work on me. I'm not saying don't do anything on your business or whatever it is, the goal you're looking for, and do some of that and get with like-minded people that will uplift you. So me and Napoleon would have big conversations about this today. I think he would agree with me. So,
well, he talked about tangential to this. He talked about, and he's mentioned this in much earlier chapters too. 2 types of people. Well, actually 3. He says there are dreamers, which would translate into visionaries. there are action people, which he calls dynamos. And then he said once in a while you get a combination of both in a person. And he said it is necessary to have that combination. So there's nothing wrong with the visionaries. There's nothing wrong with the dynamos. But you need something that brings them together, that meshes them. And again, the mastermind. That's where the mastermind comes in.
So he goes further than that, because what he says, and now I can't find the page where he said it. I should have wrote the page down. But he says most people don't find out really what they're
right.
What they're better at, what they're called to do. Okay, and they go out there and they just get jobs to make money. He freaking says this 86 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why the hell didn't anybody tell me this crap? Okay.
Right.
When I was 20. Somebody should have told me to read this book when I was 20. I don't know if I would have read it, but I don't know if I was ready. Apparently I needed my journey. All right? It is like, this is it. Okay? Finding out, you know, he calls it, I forget, what'd you say he calls it? The balanced person or the go-doer or whatever the heck.
Yeah.
Here's what I say. Go to my YouTube channel and go to fulfillment needs.
Yeah.
That's huge. All right, I did a series of videos on fulfillment needs, your fulfillment needs. They're short videos. It's a simple process to go through. And you will get ahas about who you are. And I think it also helps you in establishing your intentions and how to go about that and your journey. Because what he's really saying is, and it's still today, 86 years later, most people don't frickin' know who they are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's amazing to me. Okay, because I happen to think he thought by this point we would frickin' know. Okay, we would be on this crap. They were just playing this game to go out there and make money. You go, well, I got to make money. I get that, but you never, you know, he talks about in other chapters, the most important success is happiness, and you can have both. You can have money and happiness, and I think we have belief systems that say, no, you can't. You got to have one or the other, and you got to work hard and you hate your freaking job. So check those belief systems. I think that I was laughing when I was reading all that this time was, you know, those fulfillment needs, understanding. You get a better understanding of who you are. Instead of trying to make you be somebody that you're not. And people get in jobs and they realize, I ain't this. What the frick am I doing here? And then it's 25 years later and they're still there.
Mm-hmm. So easy.
So he really touches with it. That book today is, I have to say this before we get the heck out of here, is there is a couple of pages on enemas.
Well, I was going to get into that if you didn't.
I got to talk about it because I was so pissed off, okay? I was listening. I don't just read the book, I listen to it. I listen to it more than I read it. And I was at a McDonald's or a Taco Bell or something, and I was eating, and the guy's talking about enemas, and I'm like, what the frig? Okay, so he annoyed me for a little while. A lot of what he said, I don't do enemas, okay, that's a personal thing. Do what you need to do. But a lot of his information that he was talking about, you know, taking care of your body and feeding it the kind of food that works for it and exercise, I don't disagree with it. But don't get thrown if you're reading 2 or 3 pages about enemas. Just get beyond that. And maybe take his advice. For me, I'm just like that. Maybe I will someday, but not this week.
You know, I had to crack up laughing because he was talking about, you know, being physically fit in order to be able to be
Right.
balanced and be, what's the word I want, vibrant enough to take the action that you need
That's
to
a good
take.
word. Yes.
And he talked about exercise, a certain amount of exercise. He talked about cleaning the intestines because he said that's where your stuff gets blocked up in your
When he got
intestines.
into a little much detail as far as I'm concerned, all right?
Right.
But
But he talked about diet. He said how much he actually gave a menu of what it is that he eats. And I had to crack up with this one because he said drink 8 glasses of water a day. And that's what Weight Watchers and all those people today are saying, 8 glasses of water a day.
they've been saying that for years, right?
I had to crack up when I heard that.
So, I mean, it's another one of those chapters I remember saying to you earlier, holy crap, we could do 3 or 4 30-minute segments on this. We really could, because you could chunk this down.
Mm.
So, there's a lot more in this than we're even talking about here. I think the greatest thing with a book like this is taking what you can, enemies or not, okay, from it, and applying it. And I think if you go back, a month later, 2 weeks later, 4 months later, there's more information there for you.
Mm.
And again, I mean, this information is out there in other book forms today, but it's amazing to me. This is a freaking business book. This is a book that is credited with creating many, many millionaires, this information. And he has what a lot of people would call new age, woo-woo, or spiritual information in here. It's amazing to me. Take note of that, folks, because they created many, many millionaires. And what he's really talking about, as far as I'm concerned, is getting in touch with who you really are, your inner voice, and being aware of that you're running on this habit, okay, this mindset map that really belonged to other people. And distinguishing and being aware enough. And now setting out through auto-suggestion and your chief definite aim and setting out your pathway.
Mm. I'm glad you said that because I wanted to end with this for myself with this quote, which fits right in there. And I don't know who said it, but he said in there twice, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
That's from the Bible, isn't it?
I don't know. I've never read the whole Bible. I've read parts of it.
And actually, there's a free PDF book by James Allen.
Right.
Google it, As a Man Thinketh. I think
Maybe
it's something like only 25 pages, and you want to know what? It's a profound book.
Yeah. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
And that's the truth. And that's what and he starts every chapter, you can do it if you believe you can. Every chapter he starts with that.
Mm-hmm.
So hook up with other like-minded people. That is huge, important. And what's next week's?
Good question. What is that?
Now I'm getting scared. We're getting to the end.
Oh my goodness! Failure.
Failure.
Yes.
That's another word I don't like. So
Temporary setback.
Huh?
Temporary setback.
I don't even know if it's that. So you'll have to come next week to find out what I think about the word failure. Until then, you ready to sign off?
Right. See ya.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Let us know in the comments